series without seasons, but I really prefer to add it for the long series. Now I'm into precision farming. I would like to have precision farming available from the get-go as opposed to have to wait 6-8 months before it comes out, because that extends the amount of time I'm going to be playing this farm, in spite of the fact the new release has happened. I don't switch immediately. If I were doing a weekday stream, I would pick one of Giant's Farm Sim 25 maps and play it for a few weeks, just to see just to explore the new stuff and everything. But Saturday it's a long-term series, so I'm looking for something that I can play for long-term and will keep me occupied for a long term. And so, one, I need to know, he doesn't want to turn in. That's unfortunate. Okay then. Oh, good grief. Excuse me while I get out of your way. You figure out what you want to do and let me know. Send me an email. There we go. So yeah, I guess we'll see what's what come November. Teenage Osa is approaching, she's 17 now, she'll be 18 at the end of next year, so she'll be graduating next year. Oh, it's a race. Maybe not next year, but maybe the year after. So this time next year, I might consider adding weekday streams again. Because at that point, it'll just be me and Mrs. Osa. Okay, well, that was... I don't know, I think. And off we go again. It's one of these, I have no idea what he's planning to do. I need to stay close enough so he can tip. Yeah. Oh, okay. We're going across the field. Ah, did I not take longest edge? That's a little bit annoying, I think. Come on. Ugh. I want you to go so I can not crash into you. There we go. Okay, that's good. Yeah, well, I'm not going to do it now, but I think what I should have done was to set this up as longest edge as opposed to just pick one, because we are just going to go across the field here. Actually, it's not too bad, I guess. The thing is that hill by the field, by the road, we are going to struggle with. And so if we're not having to mess with that, that's a good thing. Dead Star in Space, yes indeed, Maize Silage. I'm using Maize Plus, so this is not the same as grass. How are we doing with the... Oh, I don't know. I was going to say how much silage additive have we got. We've still got 70% in the harvester, so that's good. Sounds like small people are getting up. I wonder if they're hungry or whether they're just Hello.
Hi.
What you doing?
Walking.
Okay then. What's everybody else doing?
Sleeping.
Oh, why?
I don't know, because they're boring.
They're boring. Okay then.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, we're full. Okay. So, what else do we have going on here? Yes. So this track here, I'm going to extend up to the tree line. I still need to buy the trees, but then I'm going to push this track through to the road so that we don't struggle with the hills. Which, Cavalier Roy's probably gritting his teeth because I found a way round his nefarious plans to slow down my tractors. Okay, how's the rolling going? Rolling is going good, and we have about 7 minutes of Massey Ferguson running around that field. Oh, he's already onto the headlands, so that's good. Our 3 grass fields here were cut and all put in the silo. I have planted canola in my southerly field, and then, as I said, this one's going to get barley, one on our left, so that I can't plant that till September. I did plant grass in the other big field, and that's the one that's being rolled at the moment. That's going to be grass, and well, that is grass. And then in spring we will smash that up and turn it into maize. So we get a big maize field. The reason I'm combining the fields is I feel like I'm wasting too much crop at the corners, and obviously with a silage or with a forage harvester, it's just difficult to to get into the corners, so you end up with a lot of crop missed out. Okay. Can I go forwards, or are we stuck completely? Looks like I might be stuck completely. That's a bit of an issue here. Oh. Well, we're on the top now. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, let's see if I can run down this side. Go! Yes, stop! No! And it's empty. Good. I think I should probably go and turn. Send him home. Bring that forward. There you go. And I think, frankly, he's done enough. Obviously, whoops, forwards. When we are unloading, initially the compaction is about 1 to 2%. He's got it up to 88, so it's going to be easier to get this finished compacting when we've actually loaded the entire silo. Might switch to using the Zerian. I think it's heavier. It's definitely got bigger wheels. and is a little bit more agile because of the four-wheel steer. So, oh, I forgot a thing. I kind of think what I should have done was not take the left-hand hedge out there and instead do the right-hand one, but too late. So every week I forget which side of which hedge to go around. Obviously once we've got crop it's going to be easier to tell. Oh. I'm now on to my last tea bag of extra strong tea. I'm now, from next week we're going to probably migrate to Earl Grey, because I have 2 boxes of that. Well, what does the weather say? The weather says 72 degrees and cloudy. I can attest to the cloudy. We definitely have some of that going on. But I'm not sure if we're due any more storms or whether they've kind of cleared up now. I think they were supposed to run through to about... Well, it was thunderstorms from about 4 o'clock in the morning, so they started at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we should be looking at scattered storms from a few hours ago till lunchtime. So I'm not sure whether we'll see any more storms here or not. The good news is we have, the PC has battery backup, so I won't drop out, and so does the modem's also plugged into the battery, so I don't use internet, I don't lose PC. I will lose the steering wheel, so I might all of a sudden go racing off because the brakes don't work and the steering doesn't work. But then we do have a gas generator, so the battery doesn't have to live for long before the generator will kick in and we'll have power restored. So one of the things that I am thinking about potentially buying a battery backup for the model railway when I build that. I don't know what the drain on it's going to be if I do have to switch to battery. However, because there's a lot of sensitive electronics involved, having a battery will protect the electronic equipment, which can get quite pricey. If I'd thought about it, I would have I would possibly have had the contractor who built the stairs into the basement and put the power outlet for the train set at the back. I would have considered having him put a surge protector outlet so that at the very least I don't risk too much in the way of burnout on sensitive electronic components, but it is what it is. So we are still nowhere near halfway on this field yet. I don't think, probably a couple more rows will be halfway. Well, we'll be halfway on the rows. We already obviously did the headlands, which usually amounts to 40 to 50%, depending on how many headlands you do. Okay, let him pull forward, and he's done. But the thing we didn't look at today was what's available. I got one of those, don't I? Yeah. Big giant American truck, food mixer. There's one of those food mixers which, if I was in the market, I would probably consider one. We've got the Luxem, and we've got the Massey Ferguson's new Drop Nose 5S. Also nice. Now I did, okay, one of the mods we had this week was, or last week, I can't remember, was Major Services, which if a vehicle or a piece of equipment gets over 25 hours, oh, I'm not going to get through there, am I? It's unfortunate. You can service it. Now, there's no actual delay to servicing, but I am kind of going with the... I serviced our harvester and header because we're not using them until next summer, when it's time to harvest whatever crops we have to harvest. But a lot of the tractors and other things need service. This tractor needs a service. It's got 64 hours on it. I don't think I put it in for a major service, but basically after 25 hours you can service a vehicle. It costs 5% to service, 5% of the purchase cost to service. So again, using our existing rules, you buy the base equipment and then you add the extras, because added extras do not add to your maintenance or servicing fees, whereas including them at purchase time does. So if you buy a tractor and with GPS on it, GPS costs 15,000, the tractor is 15,000 more expensive. If you put the biggest engine on it, that can be 60,000 on the base cost of the vehicle, and it's going to add to your servicing fee. And daily maintenance. So at the moment we have the trailer is at 69%. Motorized equipment I will tend to maintain before we get to 70. I think I have maintained this tractor because the tractor is still only at 95%. Okay, I'm going to charge in here. Come on, you can do this. You can do this. Now we're at the top. I'm going to fill in the holes as we back up. And we're also compacting, so we're at 89%, which is good. I think compaction does have something to do with the weight of what you are driving. So driving a Massey Ferguson 5S will take a long time to get any noticeable difference on the compaction percentage, but driving something like this loaded with 52,000 litres of silage in the back is going to compact very, very quickly, but it also risks getting stuck because that's a thing. Okay, I'm going to drive in here. Now, normally these trailers don't actually cost that much to fix. So repair less than 1,000. But we'll do that now because the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. So this is saying the last service was 0, the next service advised is in 6.9 hours, and we have 4.43 hours of time on it. The class Serian, it's suggesting the next service should be in 50.5 hours. The last service was at 63.2 and it's currently at 64.3. that, I think the next service is incorrect, and it's 52 months old, which also affects the maintenance frequency. So as a vehicle gets older, it requires maintenance more frequently. It doesn't require more. The repair cost or the servicing cost does not go up per percentage point. So a 50-year-old vehicle at 1% damage will cost as much to service as a brand new store-bought piece of equipment with 1% damage. It's just that a 50-year-old vehicle will get 1% damage in 10 minutes, where a store-bought vehicle might take half an hour to get 1%. That's hypotheticals. I think the damage accrues a lot more frequently, but we've been going for about an hour and a half in this tractor, and we've accrued 5% damage. And this is effectively a pristine vehicle because we just serviced it. Oops. Sorry. I'm not looking where I'm driving. But because this is one of those games where I tend to buy a piece of equipment and will keep it long term. What I'm finding is once I get to about 50 hours, I can do 4 hours of work in a vehicle, and it's down to 70%, and I like to service it at 70%. Because, as I pointed out, the more damaged a piece of equipment is, the repair cost per percent is exponential. So it's cheap. It's like if I have 5% damage, it might cost me $100 per or £100 per percent. So £500 to fix a thing. But if I take it to 1,000 or 10%, it's not 1,000 to fix it, it's 1,500 to fix it. And if I take it to 20%, it's not double, so 3,000, it's 4,000 or 4,500. So it gets progressively more expensive the higher the damage percentage is. So I don't want to be going, I'm at 95%, I should go and fix it because it's really cheap to fix. I tend to bite the bullet and say, okay, we're going to go up till 30% damage. The condition is 70%. And then I want to do it because it's really getting expensive, especially on tractors and harvesters. Obviously, rollers and plows, not so serious. But anyway, so I tend to have a cut-off point of once a piece of equipment gets to about 70%, it's probably a good idea to take it in for a service. And with that, at this age, if I hadn't serviced this tractor, by lunchtime I would have to take it in for a service. And then mid-afternoon I would have to take it in for another service. And then end of the day I would have to take it in for another service. So that's 3 services in one day. And we're quite a long way from the farm. So if I was doing cultivating or ploughing, it's not like I'm going back to the farm between each field that I do. And so it's just, I've got to drive halfway across the map to do a thing, and then, okay, now we're good. And I can do a few more things, and then I have to drive halfway across the map to do a thing. And a brand new tractor, I don't have that problem. Brand new tractor, I can do a full day's work, and it's still not down to 70%. So by having this, I'm not looking at it and saying, this tractor is so old, I should replace it, because I'm getting frustrated having to drive back to the farm every 2 hours to get it fixed. And we're playing at 3 times speed, so it's actually nearer an hour and a half of real time I have to drive back to the farm and break up what I'm doing so I can get it fixed. I should do the Big M as well, because that's not going to be used until October. Maybe November is the next grass cut. Now, other farm work, we have fertilised all of the grass fields that we cut. Obviously, this field needs to be ploughed, and then the combination field here will need to be limed, but not until we're done. And some bits like the white patch there doesn't need any lime on it. Now, fortunately, the field up here that we just finished rolling is seeded with grass, so we're not going to have any problems with weeds in that field that is now on our right. However, the field on our left, because it was maize ploughed, and I think oats was just harvested, and I put lime on the oat field. The problem I now have is the oat field is going to germinate weeds. So I have a patch in the middle of the field to our left that is going to gain weeds. And the fact that we don't have weeds on the other field can adversely affect our environmental score, because we don't treat weeds when there aren't any. Okay, back at the yard. And you can see already that trailer's down to 98%, because it has not had a major service. It's just had a major repair, major overhaul thing. I wonder if I open this here, is it going to cause... oh no, not going to cause all sorts of problems. Okay, that's as far as we go that way. And yeah, I know you're not supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to reverse it in and then get the rollers and the telehandlers to